Hello, everybody. It is me once again. I'm gonna wait for a couple people to start rolling in so that we can finally get started. Tried doing this a little bit earlier, but well, no one was really around and I had something I needed to take care of, but now here we are. It is time, hopefully. And once people start trickling in, then we're gonna get started with this whole thing. Haha. Kinda sounded like Bowler there for half a second. Wasn't doing the full voice. Wow. Scratchy throat. There we go. Got water. Starting to get all set up. I think in about one more minute, we will get all set. For those of you who do not know what this is, the description, and you will get all the information that you need. I don't even know what that was supposed to be. Certainly wasn't Scottish, that's for sure. I think it was like Irish or something. Which is weird because there's no Irish character on the show. Closest we get to is Fergus, that's Scottish, and I don't even play him at all. Kind of glad I don't, though, because Alfonso's Scottish voice is a lot better than mine. I am not great at a Scottish accent, nor do I claim to be, hence the fact I just said I cannot do one. Like I said, give it a little bit more time, little bit more time. Start getting this thing up and running. Where? Aha. So the thing about with a lot of these standards is that a lot of them are written, but they're not in the radio show format, so to speak. So I'm looking over some of these to see how we can adapt them and change them and what needs to be cut, what needs to be added, that kind of stuff. Right now I'm looking through the episode Super Mayor, which is going to be an exciting one coming up. Although it's not going to be too soon, it's going to be a little down the line. I think you can kind of tell what that's going to be. All right, we have 4 people in here, so for those who do not know, I will read the description right now if I can ever find it. Let's see. All right. Let's prove how well I know my characters. This is where you can ask Dr. Erasmus, Harold, Fez, Bowler, Cat, Pastor Haas, and Miss Lackey any question you want within reason. Be reasonable about it, of course. This is a family-friendly show, after all. And yes, I am always going to keep the regular scripts, just in case. So from this point on, I am not myself anymore. I'm any one of those listed characters. So 3, 2, 1.
Let's begin. Just start asking away. Any one of us.
Preferably me. I am the best member of the League of Men with Disappointing Hats. Yes, I know you're there. At least I do real work. Not like you lazy do-nothing. Good for nothing, too, I might add.
This just is a perfect example that I am so thankful that I'm not a member of the League of Men with Disappointing Hats.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, look at you guys. You're falling apart at the seams. The only thing you have in common is that you're so unspeakably evil.
I don't resent that. I somewhat find it a reasonable judgment. I'm not the nicest guy around, but still, at least we're better than your lot.
Oh, hold it. We're starting to get something coming in. All of you, what do you guys like to do in your spare time? Ah, well, yes, I, for one,
like to work on my various little schemes that I have. Nothing really drastic, just going around making that little effort to ensure that the folks in Stannard are always on their toes. Whether it be the newest venture of the League, I helped top draft the plans, by the way, though he never mentions that, or just going around town playing my little sneaky tricks on everybody. It's very fun! For me, not much for anyone else.
As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I spend a lot of my free time tinkering away at some of my machines or thinking of ideas for the future. Both things I want to make and things I want to be, because as I'm sure you've heard, I want to be the biggest hero this side of the world, really. I was going to say Vermont, but more than Vermont. Vermont's very small. The District of Columbia has more people than us, actually. So if I'm going to go help the world, I need to get out of Vermont sometime. But the problem is Stannard kind of has a little bit of a trap going on where no one comes in and no one comes out. It's just so small and everyone's so tightly knit. I'm surprised that Elaine and Elena Hobbs ended up moving here because whoever moves here. The only people I can think of are Fergus, who wanted to go somewhere very rural and small because it reminded him of his hometown, and Pastor Hoss, who's been everywhere. Yes, I'm done.
And because Cat doesn't talk, what he does in his free time is nothing. He always has free time and he spends it doing nothing. Nothing, nothing. Yep, see, he's silent because he agrees. He knows he does nothing of any use.
Well, that's enough from us. Now, how's about the rest of you guys?
Well, I, for one, like to spend my free time looking at various graphs and statistics, and also writing short stories.
Oh, great, your short stories.
Really, Fez? I didn't know you wrote short stories or did anything fun. Can we hear one?
Please, don't do this.
Why, of course.
Oh, look what you've done.
I don't know what I've done yet. He hasn't started talking because you keep interrupting him.
Once upon a time, there was a man who was walking down the side of the road. He found a spider. He was gonna step on it, but then he didn't. Wanna hear it again?
You're right, Bowler. I am very sorry that I brought this upon us.
See, no one listens to me. Well, if I'm going to start talking about what I do, it's really important to kind of lay out all the things I do on a daily basis.
We don't have that kind of time, Pastor Hoss. It's not that long of a stream.
Well, I guess what I kind of go over is a lot of my history books. Real big fan of history. Also, what I tend to do is, let's see, I go over my verses a lot. I help people out. Even though Stannard's a small town, there's a lot of people that need counseling. As I mentioned, I go all around the country. I was born in West Virginia, where I lived in Nevada, Texas, California, a lot of other places around the country. And so I have a lot of experience with this.
All right, now the lovely Miss Lackey, you are next.
Well, what I tend to do in a lot of my free time is help out the mayor. He has a lot of things going on and he needs a personal assistant.
You know, I always forget just how frightening your voice is.
Frightening how?
Frighteningly beautiful, right?
Oh, yes. It's truly beautiful.
I don't like it. Bowler, what? You say honesty's good, and look at her face. Well, you folks at home can't see her face, but trust me, it's wonderful.
Don't take that the wrong way. All right, let's see what else we have. How many men of disappointing hats are there?
Well, as I like to discuss numbers and graphs, I will be the one to list them off. There is Top. He is the man with the top hat. He is the leader of our group. Then there is me, Fez, the numbers man of the group. Then there is Bowler, the devious member of the group. Then there is Fedora, the annoying member of the group. Then there's Beanie, the strong but also not very smart member of the group. And then there is Cap, the lazy member of the group.
Oh, sorry. It was so slow and droning it put me to sleep. Well,
I think that's fine. Really, you did the best you could, and I think that explains it. There's 6 people disappointing hats. I don't ever think there's going to be any more because no one ever really wants to join.
And whose fault is that?
Well, if I'm being honest, I think it's you guys for being so off-putting.
Hey, now, hang on. Let's not get all in a tizzy here. We're here to entertain some folks. All right, now, can you guys start asking some questions here because I think they're starting to get at each other's throats, and we certainly don't want that. We most certainly don't want that.
Hey, I have an idea. Let's talk about numbers and statistics.
Anyone have any questions? Because I really don't want to talk about numbers and statistics. I think that's probably one of the most boring things you could probably talk about, unless you're talking about the North American Free Trade Agreement. Because here's the thing. If you're a corporation owner, you could pay an automobile worker in Flint, Michigan, $9 an hour to make a car. But you could go down to, say, Sonora, Mexico, and you can pay a worker $3 an hour to make the same car there. Now, which one would you do? Tell me now, which one would you do?
Yeah, see, isn't this fun? Talking about numbers and statistics.
Okay, I'm a doctor, and even I think that's boring. Oh, finally! But your fighting is entertaining. Oh, well, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad someone likes it.
I kind of like it. It's a little funny. Especially because I'm winning.
Does that mean I'm winning by proxy?
Sure. Glob onto my success. Be like Cap and just put yourself onto someone who's doing something and take all the credit. I don't care if you resent that. It's a fact. Okay, what are your favorite colors?
I like blue. The sky blue, particularly, always inspires me when I look up at the skies and think big thoughts. After all, my family's done big things, so why not look at something else that's big? The sky, that is.
Yes, we understand that. Let's see. My favorite color would be red. That's what a lot of people see when they see me.
Why? Because it's cold and your face turns red?
No, seeing red means that you get angry. I'm not explaining the joke to you. If you have to explain the joke, there is no joke.
I like gray. It matches my personality.
Surprise. Cap, say so. Cap. Hey, Cap. Wake up! There we go. Say something. What's your favorite color? All right, he's pointing to a potted plant, so I guess green. I don't really think he's looking. I think he's just trying to get out of work. Again.
Well, see, favorite color, that's a really hard one to talk about.
We don't have forever past the horse, remember?
All right, then, I'm going to have to steal your blue thing. I like blue as well. Blue's nice. Although not sky blue, I just say regular blue.
Yeah, at least we're different enough.
Personally, I've always been a fan of purple. Purple is definitely my favorite color. It looks so lovely.
Yes. Well, that's nice. Where have you been a pastor? Oh, that's for you, Pastor Hoss.
It could also have been for me.
You were a pastor?
No.
All right. Pastor Hoss, where have you been a pastor?
Well, there's a lot of places out there. Let's see, I was born in West Virginia. So I guess I did a little bit of that there when I was going to my seminary school. I was in Nevada, California, Texas, Wisconsin, obviously Vermont. That's where I am now. I was going to go to Hawaii, but it was really expensive to go there. Instead, I went to Arizona. I was in New Mexico for a little while. Tried Utah for about a week, but I realized there's a different kind of church over there that's kind of doing things. So I ended up going off to Idaho, which found out there's a lot of those same folks there, but I still did there. And then I also went to Kentucky and Louisiana for a little while. Like I said, I've been all over helping plant churches. I usually don't stay for a while. But the thing is about Stannard is it's just kind of got this pull to it. It's this real strong sense of community, and I can't really get over it. Everyone's just so nice and tightly knit. Even the people that don't really like each other, like Mr. Scott or Veronica, everyone knows about them. And whether or not you like them, they're still kind of part of your family. And I've been to some small towns. Like I've been to some really, really nowhere towns in central Louisiana. But I had never seen something like Stannard. It's like something out of a cartoon, I tell you. I don't really ever want to leave.
That's a good question. Where is Harold? Harold, where are you?
Hey, sorry I'm late. Did the stream start already? About 15 minutes ago. Oh, that's great. Thank you guys for letting me know.
Where even were you, anyways?
What I do in my free time is none of your business.
Going to another audition again, were we?
Yeah?
And how did it go?
No.
Oh, well, keep trying.
Gotta get out of Stannard, I'm telling you. There's just nothing here for me at all. Oh, yes, there's nothing here for me. My taxes are too high. Someone has been leaving broken light bulbs all over my patio. I already know that's you, Bowler. You don't have to play tricks. What? Me? I would never. All right, so let me catch up and go over some of these. Okay. What do I like to do in my spare time? I like to brush up on my acting skills, kind of read some cultural pieces of artwork like the Vulgate of St. Jerome, Of Mice and Men, Dave the Barbarian. How many men in disappointing hats are there? That's none of my field. Come on, start asking stuff for me. I'm worth it. Of course you'd say that. Well, I am, aren't I? I really do mean that. Don't you guys think so? Favorite color? Gold. Just matches my personality.
Hey, that's similar to what I said, but for gray. Would you like to be color friends?
I don't understand what that.
Just drop it. The less connection you have with the League of Men with disappointing hats, the more likely you're going to get a job. Of any kind, not even in Stannard.
Fair point. Fair point. Let's see, where have I been a pastor? I haven't been a pastor. Where is Harold? I am right here.
Did we ever go to college? I went to college. I just graduated a little bit ago, actually. The first episode has not premiered yet, but if you see in that one, I just got my doctorate degree. 4 years of taking 8 classes per semester, and oh man, was that hard. I do not recommend that for anyone, but here I am. I'm a doctor, and I'm ready to change the world.
I went to college, of course, University of Vermont. Wanted to get out of Vermont, but this was the only school that accepted me, so I had to stay here. Wonderful.
And I went to college too in West Virginia. Of course, as soon as I graduated, I went over to Nevada, and then there's my whole thing just started up again. And I don't want to go rambling on as I tend to do and bore you with the same story I just told. But essentially, yeah, I went to college in West Virginia, and I haven't been back since. Would have gone back to visit family, but they all just kind of went off into different places.
I went to college. That's how you get a prestigious career like I have.
I went to college too. I taught a class there once, but they let me go because apparently I wasn't exciting enough.
I went to college, but I didn't stay there for too long. I ended up finding different prospects. So yes, I'm a dropout. Make fun of me for that all you will. I'm successful now. There's no way Cat went to college, by the way. There's no way. You wouldn't have lasted a day. See, he agrees. Have I ever been in a movie? Well, yes, I have. There's some wonderful movies like Harold Potter.
Wait, you were in the Harry Potter movies?
No, Harold Potter. Also got The Lion, the Witch, and the Herald, The Wizard of Harold, Harold in the Chocolate Factory, Charlie in the Herald Factory.
Are these just movies you make in your basement?
No. My living room.
Oh, that makes it better. I think K9 Jedi means a real movie, like an actual movie that people want to watch.
Well, I don't want to live in a world where people don't want to watch Charlie in the Herald Factory.
I think you already live in that world, Harold. I'm sorry to say. Let's see. What are color friends? Yes, what are color friends?
I don't know. I guess friends that have same or different favorite colors and just so happen to be in a friendly relationship that discuss colors that which they have opinions on.
That is what? Favorite movie genre, science fiction, of course.
Anything really, just as long as it's, classy and tasteful.
Well, I gotta go for those true life story ones, like those dramas that go on about real things, like that new Mr. Rogers movie that came out. That one was a very good one. It made me feel real special things, and that, you don't see that all too often these days. It's not much sentimental. Walt Whitman were alive today, what do you think he'd be saying about today's culture now? Personally, I don't think Walt Whitman would really like what's going on here.
And I don't even think people know who Walt Whitman is.
Exactly my point about society. The thing is, people just don't understand who all these great people and great influential people in society were. If people would just go back and learn from history,
Oh, yes. I understand. We're getting off topic here.
I can't get off my soapbox now. I'm in the middle of a coffee-filled sermon here. Personally, I'm a comedy fan. I always love those.
I like documentaries. Not really ones by Michael Moore, but I like pretty much any other kind.
I guess that means he'll watch anything.
I always like those cheesy rom-coms you find on the Hallmark Channel or on the Lifetime Network. Those are good.
Yeah, Never really pictured you to be a fan of one of those, but all right.
Do any of you like to read? I love to read.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's okay. Reading, who has time for that? Tom's the one and that does all the reading, and I guess Fez too, so they do all my reading for me. I got Spark Notes for that.
Yep, exactly what he said.
And that's exactly how I feel about reading. I just don't have time for it anymore. The only thing I really read is all the mayor's notes and all of his to-do lists. Of course, I'm the one who usually reads the legislation and tells him which one to sign. He just doesn't understand things like budget or dollar, which I don't really know why he's the mayor then. It's a very bad sign.
Why do we keep voting for him?
He's the only one that applies to be the mayor. Someone else should run, like... I was gonna name one of our friends, but I don't think any of them are really qualified.
Don't tell Dawes.
He'll get mad at that.
Dawes is nice and all, he's just so fussy. I don't think he could do the job.
You do realize this is going to be broadcasted and archived, so if he ever saw this...
No one tell him I said that. He'll be very mad, and I will not hear the end of it. And don't tell him I said this either, or this. Just don't tell him I said anything. Well, seems like we're in a little bit of a pickle. You're trying to buy silence, and I have some silence to give. Only problem is, loose lips sink ships, and in particular, my lips have been very loose lately. Perhaps you need a little bit of silencing for me. And that doesn't come around lightly. Are you trying to extort me or blackmail me? Oh, no. But in a sense, yes. So yes, I am. Right. So, any other questions you guys have?
Now, I gotta let you know there, Bowler, that blackmailing is most certainly not nice at all. I really wish that you would not approve of that.
Oh, we got something else. Can Fez tell another one of his stories? Oh, no, why would you do that?
You just doomed us all.
Oh, yeah, I've heard these stories. They're great.
You weren't even here for the first one.
So are they supposed to be bad?
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay, there was once this time where a guy in a Fez hat, a guy in a bowler hat, a pastor from West Virginia, a scientist, a mayor's assistant, and a wannabe actor were doing a live stream.
And then what happened?
I don't know, it's happening right now.
That's not a story. That's what we're doing right now. This isn't a story.
Ugh. So you want me to tell it again? I can change up some of the details.
How can you change up some of the details except for moving on from the subject? I'm sorry. It's just, the legend has it that those who hear Fez's stories can tend to go a little bit mad sometimes. All I need to do is just breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, what else do we have?
I've got more stories.
Please, someone ask him or anybody a question, please, before he starts. I don't want to hear another one of these.
So there once was a man named Gerald. Gerald was getting really hungry. He thought, hey, I could use some bananas. He went over to the store and saw some bananas. He looked at the bananas and then he said, wow, these bananas are expensive. I don't want to pay this much for bananas. So then he went home and then he didn't eat any bananas. The end.
What? Oh yes, a new question, and it's for me. Yay! What do you want to do to change the world, Dr. Erasmus? That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I got my doctorate with no real idea of what I wanted to do, but there's something out there, I'm sure, and it's gonna be big because it's for God, of course, and He's pretty darn big. And I don't know what it's gonna be, but He does, and He'll show me the way. But there's so many things I could do, but I don't know what they will be.
Do you guys have any holidays?
Well, we have the day where we go commemorate the day where the Oscar Mayer truck ran through all the streets of town. It was kind of hard for it because there were no paved roads. We also have Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Arbor Day, and we're hoping to make a holiday commemorating the day when Governor Donderin stopped into our town for a little bit.
Yes, but we can't give too much away of that. That gives a little bit away for the 4th episode. I believe it's the 4th episode. It's Super Person's Day Off. So let's see. You got Welcome to Stannard. Then we have Fraudcast News. And then I believe Foul Ball's next and Super Person's Day Off. Although I'm not sure which order. And then we're getting into some behind-the-scenes things. And that's not what this is all about. What are your thoughts on the other members of Stannard? It depends on which one. I mean, I guess we can list them all. There's only 216, but, well, I like pretty much everyone. Just the League of Men with Disappointing Hats tend to get on my nerves sometimes. Mr. Scott's not the nicest man, nor is his daughter Veronica, although she's not a man, she's a little girl. And other than that, everyone's just fine.
I have to agree. Also, those 2 new girls that moved in are pretty nice. Elaine seems to be very special person.
As in, like, friends, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Why?
Right. How about the rest of you?
Really? There's no one in Stannard I don't like. Everyone's just a sweet little peach.
Now, the thing about being a pastor here is you get to kind of know everybody in Stannard. Actually, really, in any time you're a pastor, you gotta get to know anybody in the church. Most people in Stannard go to the church that I lead, so I'm able to get to know them on a deep personal level, and they all seem to like me and respect me, and that is most certainly a very, very powerful thing, and most certainly a very important position I've been put in. These people are trusting me with so much, and I'm not bound to let them down, because I care about them all too much.
Well, the people in Stannard are sheep. Oh, don't give me that look. You knew I was going to say that. You're just here to be duped and tricked and played little tricks on. Is that the proper term? I do not care.
Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent to a majority of the people. I do, however, find great comfort in knowing that I have some good friends in the League of Men with Disappointing Hats. And then there's also Cap. He's there too. He's okay, I guess. At least he stands for our ideas, but he doesn't really contribute them.
Oh, don't try to deny it. Even we who are not members know that.
All right, before we start breaking out into an argument, let's get on going here. How do you guys celebrate Christmas? Well, I think the ways that most people do it, we kind of put up a tree, got to put up stockings and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, us and the Stannard gang tend to get together. Elaine and Elena haven't been here for a Christmas yet, so I guess we'll have to invite them. I think they'll like it. Who are my big inspirations personally? Well, God, of course. Then there's also Leonardo da Vinci, the man who did everything. He painted, he invented, he did so many things. He's probably my biggest one. There's also Thomas Edison. And, of course, Vermont native Chester A. Arthur, mostly because he's the only president who was from Vermont. And that's likely how it's going to stay.
Does Veronica go to church? Yeah, she doesn't really seem to like it too much. I mean, I'm pretty sure she believes. It's just that, a lot of little kids don't really like going because our church doesn't offer a Sunday school, so they're just kind of listening to me up there on the pulpit talk about stuff that they don't understand. But when they grow up, I'm sure they'll be able to appreciate it a whole lot more. That's my idea, anyways. I'm going to try to make sure it's interesting for them. If I have to get hip and with it, I think that I could try that.
I think you could try that. I don't think you should try that, if I'm being honest. What is your favorite Bible story? I like the story of Esther. It's already basically a 3-act structure story already. Wonderful. Perfect to make into a movie.
I like them all, personally, but if I were to pick one, I guess it would be Jonah. There's just something so iconic about that.
Well, if I'm going to go with them, I'd probably say the 10 plagues. I know it's a lot morbid and there's stuff going on there that, is very unsightly, like the boils and the hail and the darkness and the death of the firstborn, but it just kind of goes to show you the pure majesty of our Lord. This is a man who can move mountains just by saying, hey, mountains, start moving. And he's also the one who can give us all these kinds of great powers just by faith, small as a mustard seed. And I think that the 10 plagues really shows it on display as to what happens when you mess with those who align themselves with God.
That's slightly morbid. Well, let's see. Hey, you know what? I'm going to steal that one too. Ha ha! Yes, thievery. All right, Cap, you got to pick one now. All right, you just handed me a Bible. The book of Nahum, huh? Do you even know what it's about? No, of course you don't. You just pick something, anything.
Personally, I like numbers, not just because it's the book of numbers, although I must say, aside from the verses and chapter numbers, it's very misleading. There are no actual numbers in there. Although I do like the various laid out pieces of law and structure. This also goes for Leviticus, although Numbers has slightly more of it, so I kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that one. I'd probably say honestly, the Christmas story always gets me moved.
Where does my name come from? It's a family name. I know no one is named Erasmus anymore, but my father was named that, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my great-great-grandfather. I am Erasmus Routledge the Fifth. That's me.
So, technically, wouldn't you be Dr. Routledge instead of Dr. Erasmus?
Well, I think Erasmus is more personal. I mean, who would you like to be friends with more, Dr. Swanson or Dr. Steve? Which one sounds better?
Well, Dr. Swanson, I think, sounds better because he sounds like he knows what he's doing. If a doctor's trying to go by the first name, then it sounds like they're trying too hard.
Thank you for that. I sound like Oswald Asparagus. Never heard that one before. Oh, well, I take that as a compliment.
Of course you would. Oh, this guy. You see, folks, this is why you gotta root for the League of Men with Disappointing Hats. They got people like this and Superperson. A Superperson causes all kinds of trouble. And then there's Fergus and those two new girls. They seem okay, but they're falling into the wrong crowd. And there's Harold over there. I don't really care for you much either. Wow, charming. Thank you.
What kinds of shows did you watch as kids? A lot of educational programming. My parents were very, very, very strict about what we could and could not watch, so I mostly just watched a bunch of educational programming on public access television. It wasn't good, like, at all, but I think that kind of started that little internal spark of me wanting to constantly learn things and constantly do things.
Doesn't sound like I would have really liked that childhood too much. Personally, I watched a lot of the typical ones that I guess I'm legally barred from saying because we do not own them. Just know that I watched a lot of it when I was younger, and I always had the dream that I would be on one of these shows. Of course, now my palate has moved on to become more sophisticated than something like, say, a children's show. I'm going to be bigger than that. I don't really remember. I just remember watching a lot of crazy action shows when I was younger. You know, that explains a lot.
You know, when I was younger, I watched a lot of them educational programs too. But the thing is, I didn't really watch too many when I was younger because I grew up in a house where we had to do a whole lot of chores, and when we weren't doing chores, we were learning stuff and doing homeschool. So I didn't really have much time to watch TV, and I was kind of more focused on my studies and doing my work because hey, if I wasn't doing that, then what was I doing? Nothing really productive. Even now, I don't really take too much leisure time. I just kind of always got to work, like what Dr. Erasmus is doing. Only I'm content with staying here in Stannard and doing the Lord's work.
Well, I'm doing the Lord's work too, but it's probably not going to be in Stannard. I don't know. Could be. I could set up a multinational corporation up in Stannard. It's possible.
It's also unlikely, but I guess it is possible. It is also possible for the sun to turn green, but that don't happen now, do it?
Hmm. Wow, very motivational of you, Pastor.
Thank you. Sarcasm. Right.
You see, when I was younger,
Oh boy, here we go.
I would watch a lot of mathematician shows. I also watched some puppet shows, but those weren't really up my alley. I was most certainly a fan of the kind of stuff that taught rudimentary skills.
Yes, rudimentary skills. Yes, lovely. Can someone else talk now?
I gotta go with Harold's answer. I'm a bit older than he is by like about 15 years or so. But I also can't say the ones that I liked because we do not own them and legally don't have the rights, unfortunately.
Do you guys like theater? I like theater, at least enough. It's pretty nice.
I love theater. Except that play that you stuck us in. I can't believe you cast me as Orlando.
You wanted to be Orlando.
In your face when you found out what Orlando was. Oh, it was priceless.
Theater's pretty good. Top and Bowler like it a lot more than I do, and so does Fedora. Really, I'm the only one that doesn't really like it because I don't see as much practical in there. But having an annual Standard Town play is tradition, and I want to honor it.
Theater's not fully my thing. I mean, I do like it. I do like to go to a play from time to time over, say, if they have one at the University of Vermont or in downtown Burlington. But like I said, I got to stay busy. I don't really like having too much leisure time.
Yeah, I was in a lot of plays in high school. I played a lot of the female leads, mostly because there were no other girls that were auditioning. You know, I was Janet Vandergraff in The Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh, really? Were you now? You know, I was gonna pick that one for the Standard Town play, but
Should I sing something for you?
please, no. Okay, can Cap say a sentence?
I don't even know if he can. I've never heard him speak before. Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Neither have I.
I certainly haven't.
Well, come on, say something.
Come on, man.
Hmm. That's not a sentence. That's a noise. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing that. Do you like anime? Well, I do watch some on occasion.
Yeah, of course. Getting legally barred from saying what we do like, but Dawes and I watch some, although Dawes mostly does it just because he wants to spend time with me. Apparently, I'm still trying to find one that he likes. I don't have much time for television because I'm mostly going around doing my various little schemes.
I just don't watch TV in general. It's against my principles.
Yeah, anime's pretty good. I'm not really picky.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to the same thing on my play answer or theater answer is that I just don't got much time for that now. I just mostly kind of do my own thing and I don't really have much leisure time. And that's all right with me.
League of Men with Disappointing Hats, folks. What are your favorite pastimes? I like making graphs and charts and counting things. I also help Miss Lackey a lot with doing a lot of the budgeting and math for the standard city or town or whatever we are. Cause this old crazy kerfuffle man, Sanford, you know him, he doesn't count very well, so I have to help him a lot.
And my favorite pastimes, as you know, is playing little sneaky tricks on people. Tops, is researching all these government things and talking with his little friend who I'm not supposed to reveal here. Who Cat likes laying around doing nothing, and Beanie likes playing card games. Fedora listens to music a lot. Obnoxious street rap music. It's not my thing, but he loves it, and I can't change it because he refuses to let me show him any of my music. I'm a blues and jazz man, if you're asking. You like jazz? I do.
Let's see. Are there any businesses in Stannard? Well, there's Awful Hoss.
Oh, not Awful Hoss.
So Awful Hoss is not Awful Hoss as in Pastor Hoss. It's Hoss as in H-I-U-S, like house. I think it used to be a Waffle House, but then the W fell off and they just kind of left it there and then they rebranded it into their own thing. But thing is, Awful House is the best restaurant in Stannard because it's the only one. And the thing is, they sure don't serve anything very good. Well, they do have this one special offer going on now where if you buy one liverwurst waffle for the price of two, you get a second one for free. But the offer is not valid on Tuesdays. It doesn't make much sense to me either. And the things they serve are really weird, like cream cheese and banana soup or potato pie served with a side order of rubber bands. It's just kind of like that. It's just cheap, weird food, and it don't taste very good, but I beats driving into town to go pick up some actual food, and besides, it's dirt cheap anyway. So, I mean, think about it. You can get a whole peanut butter, onion, pickle, ketchup, and salmon sandwich for $4 there at Awful House. You can't find that anywhere else. To be fair, I don't think anyone will really want that, but still, if you went to Awful House, you couldn't get something like that.
Awful House. Hey, the only reason that thing stays in business, aside from its convenient location, is the fact that Sanford really loves it there. I don't understand it.
You know, the mayor is just unlike anyone else. And I guess it goes for his palate.
I guess so. I mean, I don't understand it. How could you eat stuff like this? So, you know chicken nuggets, right? Everyone loves chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Well, the thing is, Awful House has them too. But they're not chicken. They won't tell us what it is. Whenever you ask the chefs, they always say it's not chicken, but it is an animal that eats chicken. And that's why I never order the nuggets when I'm there, ever.
Favorite anime waifu? We're not touching that one. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions here?
Oh, I'm getting a call. Hello? Oh, hi, Mr. Mayor. How are you doing today? Is that so? All right, thanks for letting me know. Well, it's convenient we were talking about Awful House.
Why is that?
He wants us to go there afterwards to discuss the budget.
I'm excited about the budget part, but the part about Awful House makes me want to pass out in terror. Please help us. We don't want to go to Awful House.
I really don't. I've already been there for 3 times this week. Even though he pays for it all, I just can't stand eating another chocolate-dipped lasagna. Ugh.
Well, let's go on to some other questions and get your mind off of it. Therefore, you don't have to think about it or talk about it. So, are you guys aware of the episodes being produced? Well, I guess somehow through some sort of dimensional rip, some of our exploits are getting broadcasted into these interwebs, I suppose. These things actually happen for us, and so some of these have happened. Any of you guys like Applebee's? Well, we can't really say. That would be considered an endorsement. Favorite kinds of music? You'd think I would like electronic, but no, I'm really just not picky. I like them all. Same with Cap, I bet. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes.
I'm a classic rock fan, AC/DC for life. And I am sad to say that the drummer for Rush, Neil Peart, did die recently. That is very sad. He will be missed dearly. Like I said, I'm blues and jazz. It's my jam.
You know, radio static used to be my favorite, but now I think I've moved on to easy listening.
That's good to hear.
I think that the best kind is country music. Mostly because a lot of Vermont is country. We don't really have any big cities. I mean, the closest we have is Burlington, but even then, that's pretty decently small.
Yeah, I gotta say that too. Country is definitely my favorite, mostly because that's where it was really popular where I'm from, West Virginia. Heck, there's a whole John Denver song about that. No, that one's not my favorite. If I were to go with some favorites, I'd say Brooks and Dunn or Alan Jackson, or hey, even go back to the old classic of Waylon Jennings, going on to that kind of stuff. This new hip techno funk music or whatever it is, or whatever's coming out of modern country. It's not really my thing. But like I said, if I need to engage with the kids, I'm willing to get all hip and witty and do all that stuff. And that's an important thing too. So you need to engage.
Who do you think is the oldest member in Stannard? I think it might be Sanford. He's been around for so long. He's just not gonna go anywhere, and he's been around forever.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Yeah, I mean, he's been around here since I've been here.
He's been around since I've been here. I was born here. What TV show or movie would you like to produce? Oh, I don't produce anything. I act. I'm not as much of a creative person when it comes to writing, but I am a creative person when it comes to acting. Really, I want to be in one of those very dramatic, Oscar-worthy roles. Something to help get me some recognition and get me out of this one-horse town.
No offense taken.
No offense given. You're not Stannard.
Well, I represent the office as Stannard when the mayor is asleep or not understanding the current situation at hand.
Right, well, even so, it is a one-horse town when you get down to it.
I mean, I suppose. I guess.
So, I hope that answers your question, and thank you. Finally, I'm getting some good questions. Not like the other ones I've been getting were bad, I just like getting questions in general. Let's face it, it's what the audience wants to hear, right?
Well, yes, they do want to hear from you, Harold, a lot. They also want to hear from Bowler, me, Fez.
Yeah, I got that. Oh, do you really? Seems like you don't. You never really seem to.
Hey, guys, come on, stop this. We're gonna get derailed again. We got some other things to talk about here. People are still asking stuff down here in the chat. We can't get interrupting this just because we're having these petty little squabbles. Now, give her a drink.
Water stimulating, ice water, most certainly.
Yeah, water is nice because I gotta keep a good trim image on me.
Yeah, coffee is pretty much for me because I stay up very, very late. I only get about 4.5 hours of sleep every night. And you'd think that'd do a lot to me, but the thing is, coffee keeps me going. I heard it makes me kind of ramble and talk really fast too, but I don't really notice that. Either that or just no one's really brought it up because they're either being too decent or being too spineless to mention it, but I don't really care about that. I'm just saying coffee. Coffee's nice.
Yes, coffee is fine, I suppose. I always prefer a nice cup of tea, though. You and Dawes would get along then.
Wow, I never pictured you to be a teetotaler, Bowler.
But there's a lot of things people don't picture me in. You don't picture me in my boxers, and let's not go there.
Right.
I also like water. It's a very nice flavor.
Orange juice is definitely my favorite.
And Cat would probably say water because it's what everyone else has already said, and he can't think of anything new. Where did Stannard get its name from? General George Stannard. I dare one of you to write a song on the spot.
Okay, I'm singing. I'm sick. No, stop it. Stop it, please.
It's so good that you're wasting your potential here when you could be singing it elsewhere to a bigger crowd.
Very good point. Thank you.
I saved our lives. I hope this makes up for the whole Fez story thing.
You know what? Fine, we're even. What else do we have?
Then you like to sing. Yeah, I'm not really much fan of singing myself. I more get the choir to do that or any of our worship leaders, because sometimes we have some interchangeable ones there.
I sing pretty well.
I'm all right at it.
Sometimes I like to hum a little villainous melody as I go around causing my little tricks and problems all throughout Stannard.
Yeah, I don't really sing like at all.
That's close enough. What do you think of the other animated show outside of VeggieTales?
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is real life. Real life.
If you invited to sing a song at the gate of homecoming, would you?
Ooh, what song to sing? Oh, that's tough.
For me, I'd say Master of Disguise. Some people say I sound like this guy named Robbie Rotten, but I don't hear it at all. Still, I think it'd be in my vocal range.
Let's see. That's a pretty difficult one.
I know what I would do for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I want to be like you. That's where I landed my first movie role.
Charlie and the Herald Factory?
No, that independent musical that never got off the ground. The Song of Jerry? I played Jerry.
Oh, yeah, wow. I have not heard from that in so long. What happened to it again?
Something about the director getting arrested for crimes we cannot say.
Like, what kind of crimes? Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't have a driver's license anymore now. That's just what happens. Okay, dark stuff aside.
Yes, well,
Like I said, I don't really sing, but I'd probably say something like Chattahoochee from Alan Jackson. That's a really nice one. I think I could do it because, relay rubber on the Georgian asphalt got a little crazy, but we never got caught. I've never been to Georgia, though. That's one of the few states I've never been to. I'm probably going to go there this summer, not really for any mission trip thing, just to say, hey, I've been there. It's one of the 3 states I've actually never been to. I ain't one Alaska and Hawaii, but Alaska and Hawaii, they're just so far off everywhere else. It's hard to get there, especially from Stannard, which has no airport.
I'd probably do Show Off from the Drowsy Chaperone because I love it so much. Shall I sing it now?
No, please don't. I don't sing, like I said.
and that just leaves me. Yeah, there's kind of like what I want to do in my future. There's just so many things that I could do, and I don't know. I'll pass on this one because it's going to give me a headache.
Thoughts on the youth of Stannard, they're the easiest to trick, but also the ones that if you do trick them or play little jokes, people get mad. Oh, I don't really bother them.
The kids are okay, but we gotta make sure they grow up in a society of rules.
The kids are nice. Veronica's a little
She's a little much, but I think that when she grows up,
and gets a father with a backbone.
yeah, that too, I think she'd be pretty nice. I hope she'd be pretty nice.
I do too. Maybe it's wishful thinking.
Maybe it is, I don't know.
It could be. It could also be the truth. Maybe we're looking into the future.
It's entirely possible, I guess.
Well, personally, I want to believe in the better parts of her. I want to believe that she is going to end up growing to be a really strong person. Like I said, a lot of the kids at the church, they don't really pay too much attention, but I do like them a lot. I care about them very much. They're all very important to me. The childhood's a very important part of a person's life. That builds their personality. It builds their interests. It builds who they're going to be when they grow up. And a good childhood can make all the difference. And having the best role models and good friends and good influences, you got to make sure that they're surrounded by nothing but the best. Otherwise, they could grow up to be nothing but the worst. That's a really important thing.
Because I can't top that in a million years, I'm just going to say ditto.
Were any of you guys homeschooled? I was.
Yeah, he was the only one. I think someone asked me a question up here that I missed. What was my favorite invention? Well, Roberta, of course. Obviously.
Yeah, I think he'd get a little mad if you didn't say him.
Oh, very, yeah. He's not the naggy type like Dawes is, but trust me, he would not be happy. Dogs or cats? Dogs.
Dogs. Cats, honestly.
I prefer dogs because they don't make as much of a mess with their hairballs.
I like cats.
I don't really have either. I like animals. It's just that I don't keep them in my house, really. Well, that would give me something to do, I suppose. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say dog, because we had a hunting dog. His name was Charlie. When we were growing up, he was so sweet. He's gone now, as dogs tend to go. But I always have him in my memories. He's a very, very nice little guy.
Feelings on Phineas Q. Scatterwumper. Oh, no.
Phineas Q. Scatterwumper. Phineas Q. Scatterwumper's an upstanding gentleman in my book.
Yeah, I don't see why everyone dislikes him.
He's the one person who comes around here that I don't like. Now, the thing is, Phineas don't live in Stannard. He just lives somewhere in Vermont. Well, technically, he does live in Stannard, but the thing is, he lives in a shed that's on the corner of Stannard, but it's crossing over into another town. So technically, he lives here, but he also technically lives there. So the problem is that he's not really from Stannard, and he's a shyster, really. He tries to scam people out of everything, and he's trying to rob people blind and trick them, and he's just a power grab man.
Yeah, he's always in the mayor's office trying to propose all this legislation and stuff. It's supposed to kind of control people. It's bad. It's real bad.
Personally, like I said, I don't see anything wrong with him.
Yeah, he seems fine by me.
Well, that's because you guys are nasty.
Hey, I'm the nasty one. Leave Fez leave Fez out of it. Yes, I remember you're here.
Come on, guys, I stopped fighting here. Favorite Beatles song? Yeah, like I said, I haven't listened to much of the Beatles.
Probably I Am the Walrus, just because of how weird it is.
Money can't buy me love.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And yes, I understand what it's supposed to mean.
Beatles. That's tough. I will also have to say, Money Can't Buy Me Love.
I haven't listened to the Beatles in so long, I can't really say.
Your inventions you make inventions, could I make you a girlfriend? I'm sorry, I can't do that. That would break many codes of ethics. I couldn't really do that. Besides, making Roberta was hard enough. Ooh, that took years and years. But it was all worth it for many, many reasons.
What?
Have I had any unusual experiences with anyone in the Stannard gang? Oh, most certainly. Especially with the two in particular, Super Person and Fergus. They always do some crazy things. Like Fergus was trying to make a National Sportsman Day, not realizing that we want the federal government, so we couldn't do federal stuff. So we tried to make it a town-wide holiday instead, but yeah, that didn't stick because he's the only real Scottish person here, and no one else was really all that interested. And Super Person's just always, he does great things. He helps save the town, but he's so weird. He's nice, but he's weird. What's the worst thing you've ever seen? Worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, boy.
Now, this one, it takes me way, way back. It's when I was driving through, I was moving to New Mexico here, and this was coming here from Arizona for a little while. So I was coming through here, and I was stopped in a town called Mesa. I don't know if you've ever been to Mesa, but there's a lot of things that happen to Mesa. Not good things, I mind you, either. There's just things that happen. So I was going around there, and I just saw these homeless people. They were standing by. They had like you see in those political cartoons, and they had you have those fires out of an oil drum. I actually saw one of those, and it broke my heart to see this. So I stopped by and I talked to them for a little while, and I thought I got through to them, but at the end they tried to take my wallet. Luckily, I was with 4 other guys, so we all were able to stand up to them. But I hoped we made a difference to them, even though they did try to rob me. So there was that.
Anytime I see a rejection slip for any project I want to get involved in, really.
Worst thing I've ever seen? I know what it is. I just don't know if I feel comfortable talking about it.
Oh, come on, burn up. Tell you what, I'll tell you the worst thing I've ever seen. It's any time Erasmus or any of us little friends come out and try to do any of their little weird things that they do. And it's just, It's always the worst. We have plans in Stannard, we have practices, and they violate them all.
I always forget to carry the one sometimes, so that negates rather my always. That's the worst thing I have ever seen. Come on, Erasmus.
And look, if he's not comfortable talking about it, just
All I'll say is it has something to do with my brother, and I really don't want to talk about that.
Fair enough, I suppose, little wimp. Okay. What do you love about God? Well, he's loyal, that's for sure. And we're loyal to him.
He's all powerful.
He's also all loving.
All understanding.
He's just a pure embodiment of everything that is good and decent.
And he cares about us so much that he went through the most painful death possible in order to ensure that we wouldn't have to spend eternity down in the hot place. And I'm not talking about Arizona neither. No, I'm talking about the worst hot place. That one. So he cared about us so much that when he was down up there on that cross in the most painful way possible, he was thinking about each one of us individually. Thought about all of us. Thought about me. Thought about Erasmus, Bowler, Fez, Cap, Miss Lackey, Harold, all of you guys, and you guys out there watching too. He's just been thinking about all that, and why wouldn't you want to serve someone who's not only all powerful but all loving and who's done stuff like that too? That's why I decided to make my career around him, is because he did all that for me. Went through all that pain, went through all that suffering, and he thought about me in particular. Well, the very least I could do is try to help lead people to him. Very least I could do. The debt's unrepayable. I mean, really, just look at the scope of that. But the closer I get to doing that, I think the more likely it'll be that he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant."
And that's kind of how I feel too. And that's what I want to do, only not really pastoral work, just big, big things.
Yes, I understand. You said that a lot, but don't forget, even the littlest things that you do, like treating people nice or following his rules, can be just as important as doing things like saving the world to him.
Yes, I suppose, but I just know it meant for big things.
Well, that's fair enough. Have you ever had bear meat? Yes, I actually have. We used to hunt them sometimes, especially when I stayed on the weekend in Everett, Washington. We went bear hunting, and it was very good. Who haven't had it?
Not me.
I have had it once and it was all right.
Never had it, but I think Awful House might start serving that with like jelly donuts or something. I don't know. It's something weird that they're gonna serve.
Oh, you know they will. Are any of you in a relationship slash talking to someone? Well, I'm talking to you right now. Does that count? Well, no, I'm not. I've just been so busy over the last 4 years trying to get the doctorate. I never really thought about that.
There's someone in mind that I have.
Ooh,
No one in particular.
but you just said there was someone in particular.
Hey, you're not comfortable talking about that last thing, so I'm not comfortable talking about this, okay? Let's pretend I didn't say anything. Methinks this could be a very important thing to pry in and get some useful information. Really, I'd be open to the idea, but surprisingly, no one has really expressed interest. So you hear that, ladies? Bowler is free.
I also am not in any, unfortunately.
I've been seeing this guy for about 9 months. He's a pretty nice guy. Don't know when he's gonna stop dragging his feet, though.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about with me here is kind of what Erasmus is doing. Of course, I'm older than Erasmus. He's a young man, so he's still got time. Thing is, I've been around so much, and I've never really put down roots or settled down. I only settled down now here at my age, and it's kind of hard to do that when you're so old and everyone else has kind of already moved on and settled down way before you did. So I'm a little late to the party, but if there was ever a time, I'd be open to that. Just can't do that right now, I suppose. What about you, Cap? I shook his head no. I thought as much.
Speaking of brothers, do you guys have any siblings? I do. I have 4 brothers.
I was an only child.
I had a stepbrother. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, 3 older sisters and 3 younger brothers. So, yeah, I'm the middle in a family of 7. Go me.
I was the oldest in a family of 3, and I was the only boy. I think on a subconscious level, my dad would always kind of favor me because, yeah, I know he always wanted a boy. I mean, he loved my sisters to death, but there's just a little special relationship that a father has with his son, and it just kind of don't go away, and it's just really, really strong bond.
I had a younger sister and we fought like crazy, but now we're best of friends.
Here's your favorite Bible story. Oh, sorry, we already covered that one. Ever heard of the people names of TAS Productions and Alfonso? No, I haven't. They sound like nice people. Any of you bronies? No.
No, nah.
Oh,
I don't know what that is. Did he misspell brownie? I'm not a brownie either, although I do like brownies. Those are good.
no, those are people that like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Oh, no.
And nothing against those who do. It's just none of us really tend to watch that. Don't know what the heck it's talking about either. Yeah, none of us, I don't think, have ever even seen it.
I mean, it's not one episode. It was fine. Auditioned to be on that one. Apparently, they needed another male actor, but I was turned down. Their loss. Their loss.
Well, I think we're going to start winding down now, folks. It's been about an hour, so if you have any more questions, you better ask them now.
Any time now. Let's see, you have 1 more minute, and then we'll be closing up shop. And then that means we have to go to Awful House. Great! I forgot about that.
Well, hey, just plug your nose when you eat it all there.
Oh, can't do that.
Yeah, Stanford looks at you when you eat, and if you're not smiling, the biggest smile ever when you eat, he gets personally offended, as if he cooked it himself.
Oh, wow, I'm glad I don't have your job. And not just because I don't think I'd get along with your crew, just seems like he's a little hard to work with. Is he, Miss Lackey?
Oh, very. But he's a very nice, well-meaning man, and I'd say the job is worth it. He is probably, I would say, my best friend, even if he can be a little difficult sometimes.
But you just said he was very difficult.
Very difficult, little difficult, what does it matter? He's still a good person.
All right, fair enough.
Well, folks, it seems like we've running out of time here, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you all have had a very good time here on this stream and you start to get to know us a bit better. Who knows, maybe we can get another stream going with some other folks, like, say, Roberto or Super Person, or maybe Lane and Elena.
Oh, I think that'd be kind of nice, getting them on board.
Yeah, Harold, you're not blinking.
Oh, am I? Oh, well, never mind.
Well, folks, thank you very much for watching, and hey, if you ever come around Stannard, you know where to go, right?
Yes, come to the League of Men with Disappointing Hats to pick up your visitor's guide. League of Men with Disappointing Hats approved, of course. We show you all the best stops. All 2 of them.
Right. Well, thanks for watching. Goodbye.